Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Banks Braves Volleyball. The Braves come in to tonight's home match against Riverdale with a record of 1 win and 1 loss as the season opened last week. A 5-set come-from-behind victory over Oregon Episcopal of Southwest Portland to start the season, and then kind of an embarrassing defeat, losing 3-0 at home on Thursday night to Seaside. Seaside, though, a 4A squad, but Seaside just caused a lot of unforced errors for the Braves, some communication issues, some issues with not being aggressive enough, and at one point Natalie Couch served for what seemed like 17 straight points for Seaside in the opening set as the goals came away with the easy 3-0 win. Banks did force an extra point, though, in the third set, falling 26-24 in the final set. Good evening, I'm Trevor Beard, voice of the Banks Braves. Riverdale of Southwest Portland comes into tonight's 3A Coastal Range League opener, also with an identical record of 1 win and 1 loss, opening the season with a 3-set loss to Amity, and then coming up with a 5-set win over De La Salle of Northeast Portland last week. Once again, we will also be handling public address duties, so if you hear a couple of minutes of dead air, that's what's going on. We'll have the introductions of the starters and non-starters for each team, the opening sportsmanship script, and tonight's national anthem just under 3 minutes away. We'll go ahead and take a 1-minute break, and then when we come back, we'll get you set for the opening introductions and tonight's first serve here on Westside'sGreatestHits.com, home of Westside Mobile Media and Banks Braves Athletics.
Want to give your kitchen or bath a fresh new look? Jason Bond Remodeling has over 20 years experience fabricating and installing stone countertops and can upgrade your home with the countertops of your dreams without the dreamy price tag. They pride themselves on quality and customer satisfaction. They also offer cabinet installation and will do their best to beat any bid by 10%. Based in Washington County and will service most Portland area locations. For quality kitchen and bath remodels, call Jason Bond Remodeling at 503-430-0145.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with the starting serve in just a moment. And we're just about set for the first serve of tonight's Coastal Range League volleyball matchup between the Banks Braves and the Riverdale Mavericks. Riverdale will be in their navy blue uniforms, white numerals with right kind of camel square font lettering across the chest with Riverdale, white trim around the sides of the collar, or the sides of the neck, not really collar. Long sleeve jersey tops, white numerals on the back. Banks white home uniforms, navy blue numerals, navy blue Banks underneath the numerals on the back, and the navy blue and Vegas gold small arrowhead logo just below the left shoulder. Riverdale will have a libero wearing a white uniform with navy blue numerals. Riverdale wearing navy blue, almost black shorts, and the Braves navy blue shorts. Riverdale, a much more experienced crew, ranked. Neither of these teams ranked in the top 10. Banks did advance to the one round shy of the state tournament at Springfield last year, falling in 5 sets at Santiam Christian in the second round. Riverdale will win the opening serve. Pridemore, low, popped up by Maller near side. Gets it back from McCraw, returned into the back row. Probably would have gone long, but Riverdale tracks it down, returned by the libero. Weiss for Riverdale, and coming up short into the net far side is Maller, who, again, braves a lot of unforced errors in the loss on Thursday night to Seaside. Serve from Riverdale that time is short from Pridemore, tied at 1 early in the first set. Again, this is Banks Braves volleyball on Westside Mobile Media on YouTube and Westside's Greatest Hits.com. The serve from McCraw, far side, returned by Riverdale, far side of the front row, south side of the gym to the home side. Good battle on this point for these two teams, and coming up short off the side of her hand, Pridemore comes up well short, and Banks with their first lead of the match at 2-1 in the first set. We're high above the north side, the visitors section at Banks High School. Gym runs east and west. Banks to our right on the west end of the gym. Riverdale on the east side to our left. Serve from McCraw is short. Dug out by Weiss, the libero. Returned by Riverdale down the near line, finding a hole in the near side back corner to tie the match at 2 off the return from Selena Hardy. Allie McCarthy will serve for the Mavericks. Just left to the middle between the low blocks on the key. Bogroff to McCraw. Sets it up for Maller this time with the kill. Much better job to time her jump that time and not come up short into the net for the point. Banks back with a 3-2 lead. Coming in, replacing Janicek to serve for the Braves is Marissa Herbert. McCraw. King to Maller off the block. Riverdale able to dig it out, but it's long off the return from Hallie Shearer. Banks with a 4-2 lead, scoring the last 3 points. Serve is short, but able to come up with the dig. I thought she was going to be wide, but just inside the line, far back corner on the return is Ellie Weiss, 4-3. Side out back to Riverdale. Coming out, Herbert on a short-lived side out. Selena Hardy will serve for Riverdale. Back row well long. Lands almost on the left low block. 5-3 back to Banks. Coming in for the Braves, number 13, Lily Evie, replacing Bogroff. Evie and King, the tallest players on the team, but neither one with much size outside of their height. Maller to serve from between the low blocks, skips off the top of the net. Riverdale ready for it, gets it back to De Silva Corsi. Maller digs it out back row, returned near side for the point from Lauren Jansen. Riverdale let it go. Braves with their largest lead of the match at 6-3. Serve from Maller is an ace. Weiss initially started to go after it, then pulled her hand back, and it's just inside the back line. We have an early timeout from Riverdale. First set, Banks 7, Riverdale 3. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from Sarah Hesselman.
A brand new location and a great new team. Sarah Hesselman Group is still proud to support Banks High School athletics, but has now joined the Premier Property Group real estate team with new offices located in Bethany. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, contact the Sarah Hesselman Group, Sarah at sarahhesselman.com, or call 503-313-0748.
And we're back following the Riverdale timeout. Banks with a 7-3 lead. Serve from Banks is returned by the Mavericks. Banks gets it back across the net out of the front line. Damiano on the return. Into the back row, just long, aiming for the near back corner. Lauren Jansen, 7-4, side out back to Riverdale. Serve from De Silva Corsi. Maller coming to get it as King, sliding to a knee at the center of her side. Returned by the Braves. Shearer, and we're going to have a hitting error on Riverdale. Banks back to a 4-point lead at 8-4 in the first set. Nice student section with either, I believe it's neon night, a lot of construction bright green and pink. Serve from Kendall Shook. Returned by De Silva Corsi. Janicek. McCraw returned by Maller out of the back row. Weiss misplays it, and it's going to be hit over near the extra net poles on the southeast corner of the gym. Banks with their largest lead at 9-4. Shook, far side, low serve, right to the knees of Selena Hardy, not ready for it. 10-4, an ace from Kendall Shook, who got the start on Thursday night. Again, the serve from Shook to Silva Corsi. To Shearer, returned short into the net by Damiano. 11-4 Braves, and definitely looking like a much better team than their ranking might show. But again, Riverdale having the same problem Banks did on Thursday night. A lot of unforced errors returned by De Silva Corsi out of the back row. McCraw sets up Evie too much, about good 18 inches long behind the service net, or service line. 11-5. Back to Riverdale after a long side out for the Braves, extended their lead to 7. serve from the libero Weiss, and that doesn't even make it to the bottom of the net. Well short. Banks with the side out back leading 12-5. Jump serve from Jansen is short. Right in the face of De Silva Corsi, not ready for it. Low, almost down around her knees, and Banks with a 13-5 lead after the service ace. Jump serve from Jansen, this time skips off the top of the net. Sophie Hoffman in the match. Down to a knee, but Mavericks can't pull it back off the bottom of the net, and the Braves in control early with a 14-5 lead. Again, Lauren Jansen, the serve almost from the basketball end line. Steps up to the block, and then her attempt from the service line, and again, Riverdale unable to come up with the return as it goes into the scores table now with a 10-point lead at 15-5. Again, Jansen the serve. Weiss. And nice job by McCarthy to nearly come up with the return from nearly underneath the net. But the Braves, again, come up with the point off the return. 16-5. Braves are on a 15-3 and now make it a 16-3 run. Since it was 2-1 Riverdale early in the first set, it's now 17-5. Jansen from well below the left low block. From the west end of the court to our right. Ace again. We saw something similar to this from Natalie Couch in the first set victory on Thursday night for Seaside. It's now 18-5. Again, Jansen gets it across the net off the serve. De Silva Corsi gets it back out of the back row. Riverdale finally comes up with the return, and the point is Maller can't chase it down. Near back corner coming across from the far side. It's now 18-6, but Banks still well in control late in the first set. Shearer to serve. Back row, Shook misplays it, but McCraw tracks it down just outside the far sideline, and jumping, Shearer has it slip off her fingertips, 19-6. And I thought for a moment we might have another Riverdale timeout. Banks has had Riverdale's number the last few years in Coastal Range League play, and prior to that in non-league action when Banks was still a member of the 4A classification Coapa League. And dumping it over, McCarthy coming up with the point that time, 19-7 side out back to Riverdale. Pridemore the serve for the Mavericks. Maller gets it back from McCraw. We're going to get a hitting error, I think, on the Braves. 19-8. Jump serve from McCarthy. Shook, back row. McCraw to Maller. And right down the back line, 20-8. King will come in for Kendall Shook. McCraw to serve. Just inside the left low block, short, but returned off the first hit by Shearer for the Mavericks. McCraw sets up Maller again, off the front of the net and the block, 21-8. Banks will keep the serve up 13 late in the first set. McCraw that time well short. 21-9, side out back to Riverdale. Riverdale located in the Terwilliger community of Southwest Portland, right next door to Lewis and Clark College. McCarthy, deep serve, and Bogroff keeps it alive. McCraw comes up with an incredible return from the point for the point from near the basketball end line on the southwest corner of the gym after Riverdale had come up. 22-9, we have another timeout. Riverdale will take a 30-second break and be back after this from Legacy Roofing. Legacy Roofing can save your home from leaks. More information or to get a free quote, call 503-357-7663 today. (22-9) Braves with a 13-point lead late in the first set following the timeout from Riverdale. And the serve from Herbert right in the face of Charlotte Jarvis, now under Selena Hardy for Riverdale, and Mavericks can't regain their composure. It's 23-9 again, right to Hardy, but Weiss gets it to Da Silva Corsi, one of their best players on the return. Herbert not ready for it down the far sideline, 23-10. Selena Hardy steps to the line. Her slap serve returned by Jansen. Riverdale nearly unable to come up with it off the floor, but it is able to return it. Braves get it back across, returned by Da Silva Corsi. Bogroff now in the match. McCraw to King far side. Dug out by Weiss, far back corner, returned by Da Silva Corsi, front of the front line. Far side, we're going to get a lift on Da Silva Corsi, and it's set point for the Braves. 24-10 in the first set. Evie will come in for Bogroff. Maller will serve. Maller, deep serve is an ace, and that's going to do it for the first set. Banks with a 25-10 first set victory. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back after this. We'll get you the Legacy Roofing ad. Again, as we had some issues with that last time, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Legacy Roofing can save your home from leaks, mold, and other issues related to an older roof, preventing future roof issues, saving you thousands of dollars. They use only the most trusted materials backed by an excellent warranty that is transferred if you ever sell your home. Legacy is tops in their field, earning the GAF Master Elite certification and the Golden Pledge warranty. For more information or to get a free quote, call 503-357-7663 today.
Banks Post newspaper is the official news provider of West Side's greatest hits. Listen hourly for West Side news from the Banks Post newsroom. Banks Post newspaper covers Banks, Manning, Buxton, Roy, and surrounding western Washington County communities. If you'd like more information on the Banks Post or want to pick up a copy, visit a local business today. You can also visit their website at bankspost.com or their Facebook page, Banks Post.
Your local lender, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, is here to walk you through every step in purchasing your new home. Christy and her team bring trusted knowledge and years of experience to make your home loan financing process an enjoyable one. If you're in the business or have questions about purchasing or refinancing your home, call Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, 503-327-5302, or visit uhm.com/kvanmeter. Union Home Mortgage, official sponsor of the PBR. Union Home Mortgage promises kept. Christy Van Meter is licensed in Oregon 1700271, Washington MLO-1700271, and Arizona 1039867. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229.
Proudly serving our neighbors in Washington County since 1946, LaHaye's is your destination for locally made Letterman's jackets, custom embroidery for business apparel or a unique gift, and scouting uniforms and supplies. LaHaye's is on the corner of 3rd and Main in historic downtown Hillsboro. Open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 4, and anytime online at lahays.com or call us at 503-648-2341.
And we're back, start of the second set. Banks winning the first set 25-10 in the 3A Coastal Range League Volleyball opener. Braves will start the second set with the serve after Riverdale started the match with the serve in the first set. McCraw will start the service rotation for the Braves. Serve is low, dug out by Riverdale. Sophie Hoffman in the match, returned by Janicek, dug out by Hoffman, and coming up short is Riverdale. Maller jumping, prepared for the block, but Riverdale comes up short on the return. Banks with the first point of the second set. McCraw, right foot on the left low block. Weiss misplays it, but to Pridemore, returned by the Mavericks. McCraw back sets to King far side. Weiss dives late, but not in time. 2-0 Braves. And skips off the top of the net for another ace. 3-0 Braves. Serve from McCraw, short into the bottom of the net. 4-0 Braves. Other matches tonight in Coastal Range League Volleyball openers. Yamhill Carlton is at Warrenton. Corbett travels to Neocani. Rainier is off, a 7-team league, so each week there will be one team that does not play on the scheduled nights of Monday and Thursday. And we're going to get a lift on Riverdale, who has not recovered from the first set, trailing 5-0 early in the second. McCraw holding serve for the Braves. Morgan McCraw, again her attempt, late coming up with it. Hoffman steals it away from Weiss. Riverdale finally coming up with the return, diving as Jansen misplays it into the southwest corner of the gym, 5-1. Riverdale finally gets the side out. Banks with a 4-point lead early. De Silva Corsi will get the first serve of the second set for the Mavericks. Short, but return to Maller. McCraw sets it back to Jordan. Set up by Pridemore. Far side Hoffman into the back row. Ooh. That looked like it was in from up here, but it's ruled long off the return, and the Braves are going to get the side out back, leading 6-1. Janicek will come out. Herbert will enter for her first time serving in the second set, right between the low blocks. Steps to the lines. Is played by De Silva Corsi. Hoffman tracks it down right back to De Silva Corsi on the return. Nice job by McCraw and Maller to come up with the return after initially came up short into the net. King sets it up to Jansen near side, dug out by De Silva Corsi on the return. McCraw sets up Maller, center of the front line. Too much for De Silva Corsi. Diving to the floor, Braves a 7-1 lead. Timeout Riverdale. It's all Banks early, up 25-10 and in control early in the second set as well. 7-1, already up 1-0. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from Main Street Pizza.
Jim's Market for the best pizza in Washington County. From loaded hot baked subs to a Main Street special pizza piled high, we will satisfy your pizza cravings. We've been serving and supporting the Banks community since 1986. Open daily at 11 a.m. Call ahead now to place your order at 503-324-5858 or follow us on Facebook to see our daily lunch specials. Mention this radio ad and receive $2 off any Main Street pizza.
And we're back following the timeout from Riverdale. Banks a 7-1 lead in the second set. The serve from Herbert. This time is just a couple of inches long. 7-2. Side out back to Riverdale. We have a new libero now in the game for Riverdale, or in the match, Charlotte Jarvis, or correction, Amelia Offner. They did inform me before the match that 8 and 2 were switching numbers. Serve from Offner is wide, aiming for the far back corner in front of the student section, and it's 8-2 Braves. Bogroff will come out, replaced by Evie, and Maller will also leave the match, coming in Lillian Booth. Booth about the right third of the key. Tosses it high into the air, comes up well short. Didn't get enough on it. 8-3 on the service error. Side out back to Riverdale. Allie Shearer. Left-handed contact. Herbert out of the back row center. King to Evie on the return. De Silva Corsi. Shearer sets it up far side for McCarthy. McCraw. Herbert nearly collided with Booth. Booth misplays it into the far side net pole. Back-to-back points for Riverdale, trailing 8-4. Serve from Shearer. King, and late. Evie returns it from a knee, sliding to the front row, and nice placement that time by Sophie Hoffman. 3 points in a row for Riverdale to pull within 3 at 8-5. Shearer just on the corner of the left low block. Short serve, but is across, dug out by Evie from the floor, and coming up short is Jansen. Unforced errors allowing Riverdale back in the match, now trailing only by 2, 8-6. It was an 8-2 lead a moment ago before the Riverdale timeout. Jansen to King. Coming over to the center from the left side. Evie on the return. Riverdale gets it across just wide in front of the Braves bench near side. That will end a 4-point run on the side out for Riverdale. A 9-6 lead for the Braves in the second set, up 1-0, 25-10. Shook will serve as King goes to the bench. Well short that time. 9-7 back to Riverdale again within 2. Braves held Riverdale to just 10 points in the first set, but they're nearing that already early in the second set, and communication issues. Herbert pops it up, and Janicek can't track it down. Nobody called it, and the ball hits the floor. 9-8. Serve stays with the Mavericks. Hoffman with the Mavericks within 1 on a 6-1 run. Shook to McCraw. Evie, but nice job by Weiss to dig it out, or by Hoffner to dig it out, but Shearer can't track it down. Gets a hand on it near her own bench, but too low to get it to anybody else. 10-8 back to a 2-point lead for Banks. Jansen below the left low block, steps up to the line. Late to Silva Corsi. Return. Oh, nice job by Evie for the point. Kind of a excuse me return. Was not expecting it. And finds a hole. 11-8. Banks back up 3. The serve from Jansen. De Silva Corsi. Shearer dumped over by McCarthy. McCraw sets up Janicek. Popped up by Hoffman. Returned by De Silva Corsi. Dug out by Jansen. Dumped over by De Silva Corsi. McCraw sets up Evie. Just long. Aiming for the far back corner. 11-9. Banks back to a 2-point lead. McCarthy will serve for Riverdale, just inside the left low block on the east end to our left. Shook. McCraw far side. Jansen on the return. Shearer is going to hit it into the home bleachers about 3 rows deep, and it's 12-9. Banks back to a 3-point lead coming in. Bogroff replacing Evie and Maller replacing Booth. Bogroff waiting for the whistle. Delivers with her right hand low. De Silva Corsi, too much for her. It's going to go over near the net pole. And 13-9 Braves starting to regain some momentum and control of the second set. 13-9 after Riverdale had pulled within 9-8 a moment ago after being down 8-2 before their timeout. De Silva Corsi to Shearer, back to De Silva Corsi, out of the back row. Shook to McCraw, near side to Janicek, too much. Missed the far back corner by a good 2 to 3 feet. And Riverdale back within 3, trailing 13-10. Pridemore. Short serve. Maller near side. Gets it back from Janicek. Again, too much in that same area. Trying to be more aggressive, but got to get some more downward arc on the kill attempts that are missing well long. Back-to-back points after failed kills from the Braves. Pull Riverdale back within 2. Short this time into the near side of the net. 14-11. Back to a 3-point lead for the Braves. Shook will come out, re-entering the game. McKenna King along the near side front row for the Braves. Serve from McCraw. Pridemore returned short by Shearer. 15-11 Braves. Back to a 4-point lead. This match, I know it's still early in the season, but feels like it is a key match with both these teams kind of in the lower half of the OSA 3A rankings. Plus, it's the league opener. Bogroff to McCraw. Out of the back row, dug out by Jansen on the return. De Silva gets it across for the Mavericks. Returned by Jansen for the Braves far side. De Silva Corsi, far side gets it back, and we're going to have a hitting error on Riverdale, called for another lift. 16-11. Braves now back on a 7-3 run since it was 9-8. Serve from the Braves, returned by De Silva Corsi near side. Popped up by Jansen. King. Maller comes up short into the top of the net. 16-13. Back-to-back points. Now they correct the score to what I thought it should be, 16-12. De Silva Corsi the serve. McCraw far side to Bogroff, short again. Far side, now it is 16-13. De Silva Corsi. Left-hand serve, or left-hand toss, right-hand serve is an ace. Janasek let it go and has a look of surprise on her face as it's ruled that it made contact with the back line. And again, Riverdale is back within 2 at 16-14. De Silva Corsi short this time to Maller. McCraw near side to King. Over the top, dug out by Offner. Pulled off the net by Damiano, returned by De Silva Corsi. McCraw near side to Janasek. Nice job by De Silva Corsi to dig it off the floor. Return diving, sliding too much on it from Sophie Hoffman. It's going to go behind the Braves bench. Back to a 3-point lead after Riverdale had made a little run to pull within 2. Side out back to the Braves and Marissa Herbert. Janasek will come out. And De Silva Corsi plays it late. Pridemore returned off the top of the net. Skips across off the return from Sophie Hoffman. Side out back to Riverdale, again within 2 at 17-15. Offner will go back between the low blocks. Now moves over just inside left of the key. Bogroff misplays it. King and McCraw in position, but again, nobody called it. And again, Riverdale is within 1. Again, the serve from Offner. This time is long by a good 2 to 3 feet, 18-16. Back to a 2-point lead for the Braves, and the side out. Evie will come in for Bogroff, and Maller serving from just a step in front of the basketball end line. Navy blue all the way around with Banks and transparent lettering on each baseline. And Offner plays it late. Looked like it may have gone wide to the near side, but it's an ace for Maller. 19-16. Braves a 3-point lead. Stops it long to De Silva Corsi. Pulled off the net by Pridemore. Nice job by De Silva Corsi to come up with the return out of the back row. Braves get it across, but it's returned long by Hoffman. 20-16 Braves by 4 in the second set. Maller the deep serve. De Silva Corsi, and nearly collided with Offner. Pridemore tried to get there late, but too low to do much with it. And Banks gathering some control late in the first set, increases their lead to 5. Maller left to the key this time as well, wide to the near side in front of the Riverdale bench. 21-17. but Riverdale trailing by 4 late in the second set. Already down 1-0, 25-10. Shearer. Left-hand delivery to Mallard, far side, back corner. King sets up. Jansen dumps it over in front of a diving Shearer. 22-17. King comes out. Shook will serve. Hoffner to Shearer. To Silva Corsi, slaps it across late. McCraw sets up Evie. Too much. And again, about 2.5, 3 feet long, 22-18. Riverdale holding within about 4 to 5 points late in the second set. Serve from Hoffman, diving to the floor. Shook. Returned by Evie, blocked by Riverdale. McCarthy on the return. Herbert to McCraw. Shook far side. Shearer misplays it, and it goes into the bottom of the net. 23-18, again side out back to Banks. Jump serve from Jansen, misplayed by Hoffman. Probably should have let that one go. 24-18, set point for Banks in the second set. No timeout coming from Riverdale. Serve from Jansen. Hoffner to Hoffman, to Silva Corsi, dug out by Shook right in the lap of McCraw, who can't do anything with it. 24-19. McCarthy to serve for Riverdale. About a step and a half inside the left low block. Shook to McCraw, comes center, near side to Janasek on the return. McCarthy center far side to Silva Corsi. Dumps it over with her wrist. And Jansen to Silva Corsi late. Gets it back from Hoffman on the return. Janasek for the Braves gets it back across. Pridemore and battle off the net. And Banks unable to pull it back. Evie tries to keep it alive. McCraw dives late. 24-20. Back-to-back points for Riverdale. Back within 4. McCarthy will keep the serve for the Mavericks. Now moves over towards the center of the key, almost directly underneath where the basketball hoop would be. Her serve is picked up by Mallard, back row far side. And returned by the Mavericks. Jansen. Braves come up with the return. Dug out by Jansen. Shook. And misplayed by Hoffman. And the Braves are going to get the second set victory as well. Up 2-0. 25-10, 25-20. Well, again, we'll take another 2-minute break. Banks looking for a 3-set sweep when we return in 2 minutes after this from Scoggins Creek Coffee. Whether it's a steaming hot old-fashioned cup of joe or hot chocolate on a cold winter day, or an ice-cold Italian soda or iced coffee on a hot summer day, anytime is a great time to stop by Scoggins Creek Coffee. With 2 locations in Gaston and Yamhill Carlton, their warm and friendly baristas will get you the delicious drink of your choice. Scoggins Creek Coffee, call 503-985-3483, 503-985-3483.
Specialty Screen Printing in Yamhill offers your business the creativity and expertise to print your logo on a variety of items. Owners Ken and Linda Johnson have 40 years of experience on industrial parts and every type of material, including ceramic tile. Their fast service can have your project done in less than a week. Visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com, to see for yourself how they can help you boost your company's marketing and industrial screen printing needs. Call 971-998-9274 or visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com.
There's a new premier fiber internet provider in Vernonia featuring friendly and helpful customer service. Sign up with Gorge Networks today for symmetrical speed fiber internet, 300 meg or 1 gig speeds with managed Wi-Fi included in the low monthly price. No contracts or price increases. Refer a friend and get a free month of service. Make the switch to Gorge Networks today. Call 541-436-0223. You can also email us at sales@gorge.net.
At Wana Credit Union, every individual is unique, with different needs, different wants, and different goals. This is who we are, and we live here. Our families live here. Our friends live here. This is our home, because to us, you're not a number. You're an individual. Wana Credit Union. Individuals welcome.
And we're back. Much better performance. From the Braves tonight than their 3-set sweep against Seaside on Thursday night. Already up 2-0, 25-10, 25-20. I want to thank all of our sponsors for helping us bring you broadcasts of Banks High School athletics this season. Once again, our presenting sponsor, Jason Bond Remodeling, pregame sponsor, Jim's Market, Sarah Hesselman Premier Property Group, Legacy Roofing, sponsoring our football scoreboard, Banks Post, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, LaHaye's Custom Embroidery of Hillsboro, Main Street Pizza, Scoggins Creek Coffee of Gaston and Yamhill Carlton, Specialty Screen Printing of Yamhill, GorgeNet, Internet Service Provider, serving Vernonia and the surrounding area. Wana Credit Union, in likeness of you, Westside Mobile Media, and Oregon National Guard. Serving to start the second set for Riverdale will be Thais Da Silva Corsi. Just outside the left key, and Janicek hits it into the bottom of the net. McCraw nearly pulls it back, but goes under the net. 1-0. Riverdale in the third set. Again, Da Silva Corsi the serve. McCraw near side to Mallard. Off the top of the net. Short-lived serve for Riverdale to open the third set. Tied at 1. Banks looking to end it on this set. McCraw just outside, left to the key near the low block, and the return from the Mavericks will come up short, 2-1 Braves. McCraw steps up to the left low block. Short, but return by Riverdale after initially being misplayed by the new libero, or returning to the libero position, Ellie Weiss. And the return from the Braves will go long, tied at 2 in the third set. Damiano will serve from center of the key below the blocks. McCraw to Mallard, right back in the face of Damiano, far side. Pridemore back to Damiano on the return. Mallard gets it back from McCraw to Da Silva Corsi. Oh, nice job by Shearer to keep it in play, but Pridemore is going to hit it into the scores table on the east end, and 3-2, Banks regains the lead. Herbert will serve. And Weiss plays it underneath the net, far side, 4-2 Braves. Herbert. Popped up by Selena Hardy, returned by Hardy after she gets it back. Bogroff to McCraw, setting up Jansen near side down the line. Returned by Hardy into the back row long, and Braves now leading 5-2 in the third set. Herbert will continue her serve. Evie came off the bench momentarily. No side out yet, and Hardy misplays it into the back wall. And timeout, Riverdale. Banks up 6-2 in the third set, looking for a 3-set sweep of Riverdale of Southwest Portland in the Coastal Range League Volleyball opener. We'll take a 30-second break and return after this from In Likeness of You.
In Likeness of You offers caricatures, face painting, temporary tattoos, indoor and outdoor games, arcade games, and even costume hero birthday events. Since 2013, they've even held corporate events for some of the biggest companies in the world. For more information or to book your next party, go to inlikenessofyou.com, thebash.com, or call 503-858-0164. That's 503-858-0164.
And we're back following Riverdale's timeout. Banks a 6-2 lead, up 2-0, 25-10, 25-20. The serve from Herbert. Returned by Riverdale, far side. Coming up short is Herbert. (6-3). Shearer serving for the Mavericks. Right-hand toss, left-hand delivery. Bogroff, and coming up short, McCraw, nearly somersaulting near the student section. Back-to-back points for Riverdale, 6-4. Again, the serve from Hallie Shearer for Riverdale. Jansen misplays it, but to Herbert, returned by McCraw, far side. Weiss. Shearer tracks it down to Pridemore. Far side for the Mavericks. McCraw to Jansen near side. De Silva Corsi to Shearer. Back to De Silva Corsi. Short, but Jansen is there to McCraw. Maller misplayed by Riverdale, but to De Silva Corsi. Dug out by Bogroff. Returned by Riverdale. Jansen to the floor. Set back across by McCraw. McCarthy. De Silva Corsi over the top. Sets it across for Riverdale. McCraw, and off the top of the net, off the kill from Maller. Braves get the lead back to 3 at 7-4. Now Evie will come in, Maller will serve, and Bogroff will come out. Serve from Maller. De Silva Corsi, battle at the net is won by Evie, 8-4 against the much shorter Shearer, as De Silva Corsi's return on the first hit was lobbed back across the net, 8-4 Braves. Again, the serve from Maller. Hardy, lobbed back across the net, returned by Donnelly now in the match. Battle at the net, that time won by Selena Hardy. For Riverdale, 8-5, side out back to the Mavericks. Selena Hardy is well deep on the front edge of the baseline. And Maller pops it way up off of a rafter. And nice job by Herbert to try to keep an eye on it and track it down, but it changed direction after making contact with the rafter, and it's 8-6. Again, Riverdale back within 2. Hardy from the same spot, just inside left of the key, and misplayed by Jansen. (8-7). Braves still with a 1-point lead, but it was 8-4 a moment ago. Again, the serve from Hardy, low. And popped up by the Braves, returned by Riverdale. Evie, Hardy out of the back row for Riverdale off the return, and De Silva Corsi misplays it, and the Braves, clinging to a slim lead, get a huge point there, and will get the side out, clinging to any momentum they can hold on to. Up just 2, 9-7. Donnelly will come out. Shook will serve for the Braves. Much better job this time on after her last serve, returned by Evie, and a swing and a miss from Weiss for Riverdale on the other side. 10-7 Braves. Starting to gather a little bit of space now between themselves and the Mavericks, leading 10-7 in the third, up 2-0. Shook. Hardy sliding into the floor, and I'm not sure what Jordan Maller was thinking there. That one was almost all the way into the bench, and she tries to bring it back. And then the Braves come up short on the return into the bottom of the net. It's 10-8 Riverdale, and the side out. McCarthy, her serve nearly makes it across the net, but kind of hangs on the white on the top, and net will bring it back. 11-8, side out back to Banks and Lauren Jansen. Herbert will come out. Jansen well below the left low block. Hardy. To Shearer, returned by the Mavericks. McCraw sets up Janasek. Hardy. Shearer, returned by Hardy for Riverdale. Janasek dumps it over, finds a hole as Shearer and De Silva Corsi nearly collide on the floor. 12-8 Braves, back up by 4. Again, the serve from Jansen. Weiss. Shearer at the net, back sets, dumped over by the Braves. Pridemore, returned by De Silva Corsi over the top. Shook is there. McCraw, returned by Maller out of the back row. Too long, 12-9, side out back to Riverdale. Pridemore will serve just about half a step in front of the baseline, far to our left. Maller to Janasek, returned out of the back row, far corner for the Braves. De Silva Corsi, dug up by the Braves. McCraw blocked by Riverdale and returned. McCraw sets it over. Shearer is there. Hardy, returned by De Silva Corsi. No, short into the top of the net. 13-9 Riverdale, and I think we're going to have a short officials timeout. Yeah, we're going to extend it. Rochelle Mansky saying something to the scorers table, I think, about the rotation. And Lance Alba, the near side official, is back to his position at the near side net pole. Bogroff the serve. Pridemore near side to De Silva Corsi. Too much for Bogroff that time. 13-10. Back to the Mavericks for the serve. Mansky, the head coach for Riverdale. Serve from De Silva Corsi is returned by Maller near side. Hardy misplays it into the southeast corner of the gym. De Silva Corsi can't track it down. Nearly slides into the corner of the bleachers. 14-10 Braves back up 4 in the third. Already up 25-10, 25-20. McCraw. Weiss. Pridemore sets it across. McCraw. Mallard blocked at the net by Amelia Damiano, 14-11. Again, side out back to Riverdale. Keeps going back and forth. 3 to 4 point lead for the Braves. Neither team able to extend it off their serve. Damiano for the Mavericks. Bogroff. McCraw keeps it alive near the student section, returned by McCraw. To Silva Corsi, Pridemore sets it to Hardy, far side, dug out by Jansen. McCraw far side, back to Jansen out of the back row. De Silva Corsi dives to the floor. Hardy high into the air, back to De Silva Corsi on the return. Jansen, far back corner, Janasek, returned by Bogroff wide, aiming for the near back corner, and Riverdale is within 2 at 14-12. Serve again from Damiano. Bogroff misplays it. McCraw can't pull it back off the net far side. 14-13 and Riverdale within 1. Middle of the third set. Again Damiano. Bogroff. And communication issues again. McCraw diving to the floor as nobody called it, and it's too late before she makes an attempt on it. 14 apiece in the third set. Damiano again returned on the serve. Janasek and Donnelly misplays it. Riverdale with a 1 point lead, now up 15-14 in the third. Again, Damiano is successful on her serve. McCraw, and from the bench, returned by Jansen for the point. De Silva Corsi can't get there in time, tied at 15. Herbert will serve, Janasek comes out. Herbert's serve is low, skips off the net. Pridemore to McCarthy on the return. Bogroff to McCraw, setting up Mallard, returned by Hardy. Dug off the floor by Bogroff. McCraw sets up Jansen. De Silva Corsi digs it out off the floor. Returned by Weiss, far back corner for Riverdale. McCraw back to Mallard, over the top diving is Pridemore. Returned late by Pridemore for the Mavericks. McCraw. Donnelly dug out by Riverdale. Hardy sets it across. Back row Bogroff. McCraw near side to Jansen. And Weiss and McCarthy come together and try to avoid contact right at the net, and they come up short trying to avoid each other. 16-15, Banks back to a 1 point lead. Herbert, Riverdale JV starting to come alive. The only fan section really for Riverdale. De Silva Corsi keeps it alive, and Riverdale comes up with the return after the ball nearly went all the way into the back wall, and we're going to get a whistle. I think somebody for the Braves was in the net, tied at 16. Janasek will come in for Herbert. Shearer. Left low block. Jansen across, sets up Mallard, dumps it over the net as it spins its way across. 17-16. Banks back with a 1 point lead. This feels like a set that could go extra points after Riverdale had come all the way back to take a 1 point lead at 15-14. It's been back and forth with neither team having more than a 1 point lead either way. The serve from the Braves. McCarthy, I think, made contact with the net. And again, we're tied at 17. Selena Hardy will serve. Lower left corner, the key. Now takes a couple steps forward. Maller to McCraw, far side. Back to Maller out of the back row. Hardy dives to the floor. Returned by Damiano, or by Shearer. McCraw sets it across for the Braves. McCarthy, Shearer, De Silva Corsi on the return. Donnelly gets it across. De Silva Corsi, far side. Maller dives for it near the student section. Probably should have let that one go, and Riverdale back to a 1-point lead at 18-17. Hardy. Low but deep. Janicek to McCraw, far side Donnelly. Dug out by Weiss. Shearer to De Silva Corsi, far side. Janicek leaps to keep it in play, and on the kill, Jansen on the return to tie it at 18. Donnelly will come out. Shook will serve. Weiss to Shearer, sets up De Silva Corsi, just wide in front of the Braves bench, aiming for the near back corner. Braves regain the lead at 19-18. We'll see if they can gather any space late in the third set and come away with the sweep. Serve from Shook. Weiss. Shearer sets up De Silva Corsi over the top. McCraw is there. Shearer. Pridemore on the return. We're going to get a hitting error on McCraw, or on Riverdale. A 2-point lead for the Braves late in the third set. Shook serve, Hardy. Shearer. And racing towards the net. McCarthy comes up short, nearly had her momentum take her into the net. 21-18, timeout, Riverdale. Banks up 21-18, up 2-0, 25-10, 25-20. We'll take a 30-second break and return after this from Westside Mobile Media.
Westside Mobile Media is home to Westside's greatest hits. Great top 40 hits from the 70s to today with artists like the Bee Gees, Madonna, Billy Joel, Cyndi Lauper, Whitney Houston, Elton John, NSYNC, Jennifer Lopez, Imagine Dragons, Adele, and more. Local news, sports, and weather updates for Portland's Westside and live broadcasts of Banks High School athletics. Check us out at westsidesgreatesthits.com for advertising opportunities. Email westsidemobilemedia@gmail.com or call 971-330-8122.
And we're back. Will Riverdale be able to pull it to a fourth set, or will Banks come away with the sweep, needing just 4 points? Up 21-18 following the Mavericks timeout. The serve from Shook. Weiss misplays it. De Silva Corsi, nice job to keep it in play. Returned by Pridemore. Janicek to McCraw, far side Shook. Into the back row, Hardy. Shearer, returned by McCarthy. De Silva Corsi, and may have got a hand in there as well. Returned by Evie. Hardy out of the back row. Shearer sets it up again for De Silva Corsi, far side. Janicek, McCraw, far side to Shook. Shearer high into the air to Weiss. De Silva Corsi across the net. Shook to McCraw. Evie out of the back row. Hardy digs it out. Shearer, McCarthy over the net. And returned by Janicek coming up to the net out of the back row. McCarthy. Janicek pops it high into the air to Maller. Shook far side. McCarthy high to Shearer, De Silva Corsi, Janicek for the Braves. McCraw on the set return. De Silva Corsi over the top, blocked. Shook to McCraw over the top from Evie. Hardy late and can't kind of surprisingly has it land in the lap of Shearer, 22-18 after a hard-fought point for the Braves. Shook from the far side, her serve. Weiss misplays it. Hardy keeps it alive, though. And that's going to come up short off the return from Weiss. And so Riverdale falling apart late. Banks up 23-18. Two points away from a match victory. Shook diving to the floor as Hardy returns it wide, sliding to the floor. Set point or match point for the Braves, up 24-18 in the third. Shook serve is Weiss. Shearer. Pridemore on the return. Maller to McCraw, near side Jansen into the net. And that's going to give Riverdale at least one more chance on the side out. McCarthy serving for the Mavericks. Contact with the right hand. Serve is wide. And the Braves will get the three-set sweep, 25-10, 25-20, 25-19, to improve to 2-1, 1-0 in Coastal Range League play. Their next match will be Thursday night here at home as they host Neocani of Rockaway, who is hosting Corbett tonight. That will be our next broadcast, Thursday night at 6, back here at home for Banks Volleyball. The next broadcast for Westside Mobile Media, and then Friday night we'll be at Tillamook for football, 7 o'clock kick, and pregame 6:30, 6:45, somewhere in there. So that'll do it for us. Again, our final score in 3 sets. Banks 25-10, 25-20, 25-19. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast and the Banks victory. We'll be back with you again Thursday night at 6 for more Braves volleyball as the Braves host the Pirates of Neocani. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. Good evening and God bless.